Hello, hello everyone. It's Elena Bartash, real estate investor. And today my guests, a wonderful couple, Dan and Anita Richner. Dan and Anita are originally Swiss. And you know what? I've been in Switzerland 15 years ago. I had a friend who used to live in small town next to Zurich. And this town has named Winterthur. And during our conversation with guys, I find out Dan was born in Winterthur. So it's amazing how Earth is small. Thank you guys.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys to accept my invitation. I'm really happy to see you here. Dan and Anita are direct private money lenders, and they kindly agreed to share with our investors their knowledge, their experience, and everything they know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Elena, for having us. So like you said, when we were talking about the first time over Zoom, we found out like we have a connection with Zurich, right? I'm born and raised in Zurich, and you have close friends close to Zurich.
Yep.
So we came over in 96 to the States, and first we went to Oregon and then Texas, and now we're in Florida. Yeah.
Quite a journey.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we came over with a 7-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and I was pregnant with the little one when we came over, and she's born here. So, and by now we are citizens too. So, and now we do.
It's awesome.
This Swiss, whatever stereotype, you're Swiss, you must be rich. It's not true.
Right.
Right. Money, so
actually, it was my next question to you. I mean, my first question was humor. Are you guys became to be lenders because you are Swiss?
Yes, maybe. I mean, just to say, my background is mainly software engineering, software architecture. However,
awesome.
I was writing the very first AI-driven module for an MLS system for the Eastern Seaboard here in the United States, which basically predicted the time on market for a house at a certain price in a certain zip code, or how long, what the price would need to be to sell it within, let's say, 14 days and whatnot. And that was back in 1999. Wow. So AI is not that new. We knew it for a long time. Just right now, it's a big. Yes, and the rest.
Wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest, I basically worked also in UBS. UBS. The bank, the big bank in Switzerland. So I did software for them too, as well, and some banks in the United States as well, and startups in the money transfer business. So money, lending, real estate,
and Swiss.
Strange things, and Swiss. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, everything that is related to Switzerland, related to money. You see all your background. About banks and finance. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I'm kidding, Again, thank you so much, guys, to being my guest. I'm so excited, and I'm really, really, really hope we can give as much value as possible to our investors, members of Sub2 community, and not only our members, to anyone who wants to be good borrower and who wants to build great relationship with lenders and build great business with you guys. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. So I have quite a bit questions to you. Let's start with this one. How do you personally evaluate the experience and reputation of your potential investor?
That's an easy one. I don't. No, of course. Of course, I'm looking more at, let's say we look more at the deal, at the scenario, as we call it, right? The scenario makes sense, and the property needs to support basically the deal itself. Personally, where the personal connection comes in, of course, it makes it a lot easier if we click with the investor, right? And that happens because we do mostly Zoom meetings, short 15-minute, meet and greet meetings with the investors to kind of feel out if you're a good fit, and we explain a little bit what we are doing, how we are doing it, and then basically from the borrower side or from the investor side, the FICO score is kind of really important to us because in a broad stroke, it gives us an overview how they manage money, so to speak. And I don't want to exclude anybody at this point, but if somebody comes with a 520 or a 4, what is the lowest? The 480, and wants to do $1 million fix and flip, it's probably not going to happen without a partner, right? So we have certain minimums. We are very flexible, and this is how we look at the borrower side, right? And I hope this answered your question. But it's mostly personal interactions, and the deal must make sense. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, trust is important, right? Even though you mentioned in the beginning, you mostly check the deal, but still you want to make sure you clicked with this person, you have a nice conversation. This person is responsive, right? Responsible.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's very important.
Human relationship.
The thing which I maybe missed is experience is also very important. And it's not important that newbies cannot be getting funding from us. No, we embrace newbies. The parameters, the scenarios will be a little bit different, right? We need to find out first if they how they perform, basically. But if you're a newbie, if you just want or dream of doing a fix and flip, don't hesitate. Reach out to us, and we will work together. We will even guide you through all the steps. This is what we do. We help people achieve success, right? This is what we are in the business of. Because if the investors are successful, the borrowers are successful, we are successful as well.
Win-win. So
it's a win-win-win all around. This is what we are really looking for.
Great. And actually, it was one of my questions in the list. What kind of advice would you give to new investors to help them better understand your expectations and increase their chance of successful collaboration with you?
Yes. So new investors, they need to know that not every opportunity they get presented or presents themselves to themselves is a good opportunity. So because they're new, they don't have this sense of what is a good deal versus what is a bad deal, because they're still learning. That is fine.
Yep.
That is another aspect which I really want to drive home, is it's not about comping and whatnot, because everybody kind of has the guidelines or the same guidelines and does comping. And they get many questions. Not only from Sub 2, also from Master Blaster and so on. I got several questions. How do I comp? There is no house in this area and whatever, which is comparable. And they say, look, this you just go through. But we, as a company doing private money lending, we basically mainly go off of appraisals. So any deal we fund will have a third-party appraisal. And as part of this process, we know before the investor, newbie or not, gets into this deal, we know exactly what is possible with the after repair value and so on and so forth. And this is how we help them, right? My back office team, or our back office team, is they are my heroes. they find things which nobody else would unearth. And I can give you a story later about this.
Yeah, but you know, with the newbies, it's really nice if newbies are coming to us and they bring us their first deal, and then they say, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but this is the deal. Those are the numbers," and it is really really nice. It's to just get them step by step and tell them this is how you do it, and these are the wrong numbers. You have to look at the numbers this way. And in the end, sometimes it's not a deal, but they always say thank you for explaining. Next time when I bring a deal to you, it's got to be different. So guiding the new people into the real estate investment, it's really fulfilling. It's really really nice.
Oh yes,
You know.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Actually, I believe for every newbie, it's critically important to have hands from any
Yeah.
side of real estate investment business to guide them, to help them. So, what do you do if, for example, you see there's some information missed in the pitch deck? You would like to see something else. Do you reject people right away, or you can take your patience, take your time, and ask people questions to get all information? How do you usually do?
When we usually get in a scenario, we like to call them scenario before they're actually real deals, you know. So if you get in a scenario and Dan and I are looking over it, and we say, okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so then
Awesome.
we schedule a meeting with those people, and then we explain them step by step what was wrong. We don't just say doesn't make any sense, because you know everybody starts somewhere, so they need help, and
Right.
we guide them through it, and we tell them, and sometimes they can tweak it by themselves, or they can go out and get another person who helped them, and sometimes they say, okay,
Yep.
yeah, that doesn't make sense, but you know what, when we help them, they will come back with a deal next time that
Absolutely.
makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
Well,
If
Yeah.
they will find in your face friends first, right?
Yes.
Supportive
Yes.
business partners. It's
Yes.
cool, and it's important for them. It's cool for you. So
Yes.
humans
And
first.
right. And you know, the our office does all the really digging in and the nitty gritty stuff. And if we would not have them, we need their help too from our back office. So everybody needs help somewhere, you know. So
everybody does in our organization what they're best at. Everybody has a superpower. And the
Right.
guys in the office, their superpower is to find this one sentence in a 140-page report which tells us that this is a bad deal,
yeah.
right? Or a good deal, or that the ARV could be higher. So it's really important to work with people, because this is a people business, believe it or not. And money making is not our first and foremost priority. Friendships, long-term relationships is our biggest asset. And therefore, we cannot just turn anybody away just because they have a wrong number in the form or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, with relationship comes deals, and with deals comes money. So it's goes around, comes around.
And so,
Yeah, and I'm so happy to hear it. Because I know some investors, newbie investors especially, they believe money lenders are from somewhere else, from different planet, from the Mars, from the moon. They don't know how to start talking to you.
Only from Switzerland. No.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, we're still humans first. Yeah. And I was interested about one thing. So, what about pitch decks? The issue is I saw different pitch decks. I saw pitch deck one page, but I saw 15, 20 pages of 15 deck. What is your personal opinion? How it should looks like, and what are the information should be included mainly?
Okay, that's funny that you ask. Actually, Anita and I, when we joined Sub2, we didn't know, like many people who joined Sub2, we didn't know what we wanted to do. You know, we did the avatar and so on, we tried everything, and it was just not for us. But then we arrived at this money lending. We said, yeah, this is what we want to do, and we dug into it. However, private money lenders is on one side, and then are the people with the deals on the other side. So, and we looked at each other and said, why in the world will they come to a private money lender and say, hey, dude, I need somebody for 200K and I will pay 20% interest. That is super cool. But guess what? We have the money and we give the money and we say what the interest rate is, right? And the interest rate is not going to be 20%. It's not going to be 18%. It's going to be lower. And that is what I don't understand. Most pitch decks, they overshoot the interest rates and the terms by a long shot. Money is not that expensive. I mean, it is expensive, but not that expensive. And so,
good to know, good to hear.
Oh, yes. For investment, the rates are going down right now. So anyhow, good to hear though is that investors need money and we have money. So if I would say if they look for funding, they should come to us and ask, what can we do, right?
Guys, I don't see you. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan, I don't see you.
Oh,
you're mute.
is that our problem?
Turn it off your video.
I did.
Come back, please.
Yes, I'm coming back.
Okay, he has a problem. No clue what's going on. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Thank goodness we're not live, so you can cut it together, right?
It's good. We are not live, but it's okay. Okay, no, let's keep talking. If there is a problem of connection, it happens. So what we can do? Let's just give people information. Let's keep talking.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's good. Is it good?
It should come back.
Problems. There we go.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. We don't have to worry about it, really. It's just devices. So let's go back to our favorite pitch deck. So what do you think about?
Yeah, so basically, if an investor needs funding, they need to understand how lending works. Yes, we will lend, we will fund the big part of the project, right? Let's say 80-90% of the project cost we can fund. But we require the borrower to have some what we call skin in the game, right? And this skin in the game is called down payment. And if you buy a house, you have to bring 20% or however much. If it's an FHA, you have to bring 3%. But you have to bring something down. Now, if you don't have the money as an investor and you want to start, a newbie again, if you don't have the money, you basically partner up with somebody that's called a private money partner. That's a different kind of private money lender. We are private money lender. We are operating more on the hard money side and in the first position on the lien. But the private money partner will be willing to give their money for the duration of the project for a small part of the equity. That is how they get paid. And they partner up with the investor, and then they get funding together. So there's a joint venture agreement, and there is a form on the Sub2 Facebook group. You can download to do this such a form.
JV, yeah.
Yes, and then you come to us and you say, we are this JV, whatever, and we want to do this project, and we need to have X amount of money, right? And then we look over the deal, and we will discuss this. We will give it to the back office. It gets kind of underwritten, a surface kind of underwriting. And then we get what's called a term sheet. And the term sheet is going to be sent over to the investor, and it states everything. and then we ask them if they like it, they should sign it, and then that will go into the next step, which we can also talk about. Yep. But then they say, let's say, the rate is too high, or I don't like the terms, or why are the costs so high? I'm not really up for that. Then just come back to us and say what you don't like, and we may be able to restructure this whole loan thing a little. Right? We are totally flexible. It's not. We like to work together. It's about relationship. It's not to.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, let's. I would like you to give me, let's say, one-to-one kind of bullets. What are necessarily 100% should be in pitch deck? I suppose it's brief information about borrower. It's and the most I'm interested about numbers, about property, about asset. What are the information about asset you want to see first?
Okay, so many investors are very, if they put the property address somewhere out there that somebody else will snatch it. Okay, so the address is optimal. The address is optimal. If you don't want to give it, give the zip code. We basically work off of the zip code more than the address. Okay, so zip code very important. We need to know what the purchase price of the property is. So what you will pay to the wholesaler or real estate agent or seller. Right now, with wholesalers, be careful. What you pay to the wholesaler might be what you pay to a daisy chain of wholesalers, so that will inflate the price. So you need to be aware of that. Okay, so the purchase price, you need to do a work down of how much rehab this property needs. So we need to have the rehab amount. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me then to interrupt you. Do you want any time to borrower to break down for you information about rehab? Do you want to know what actually should be done in the house and how much it will cost?
That comes later.
Or just one number.
Yes, just basically one number in the beginning. And remember, this is just to get a term sheet. And once you have a term sheet, we go into the details and we work with you as the borrower. If it is feasible, if it's not feasible, and so on, we are flexible. We don't care about it so much because we will fund you 100% of what the rehab costs. So if we find that the rehab was a little bit on the low side, and we find that with grand more, you can get 50 grand more after repair value, we will tell you that, and we can adjust at that point. In the beginning, one number basically. And then what your estimate and comps, whatever value is for the after repair value. That's all we need.
Right.
And the FICO score.
Cool. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And you need to have an entity. You cannot have a private person. Private person cannot do that. We do not fund persons. We fund only entities like LLCs. That's about it.
I guess so. Yeah.
There was something else maybe. If it comes to mind, I will tell you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. What about underwriting? I believe pretty often you receive underwriting sheet from the potential borrower, and you see the way how they calculate. So what is the main difference between underwriting from investor's perspective and from your perspective?
Okay, the main difference, overall, the goal is the same, but there's a conflict of interest on the investor side. The investor side wants to inflate the ARV at the end and so on, and that's his right, and that's fine. From the borrower, from the lender side, our job is to mitigate the risk. I mean, of course, we know it's a risky endeavor, but we want to mitigate it as much as possible. And if I'm not really sure if I should say this, but let's say we need to be able to finish the project even if the borrower walks away. Because guess what? There is a lien on the property. when it's going to be rehabbed, right? If somebody walks away, guess who takes over? We take over. We send our crews out, and they finish the job, and then we put it on the market. We need to be able to recover our money, right, in that scenario. I hope it never happens, but it does. So that is how we look at the deal. Now, if somebody comes to us and does the underwriting and the comps and whatnot, and says, hey, the ARV is 300K, right? And our underwriting, our back office team comes, no, 300K is not supported by the market. I mean, guess what? Yes, we could do it 300K, but then it's going to be by far the most expensive house on the block. It
Yeah,
will
it's not
take
going to sell.
a half a year to sell or
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
So we cannot have that. I mean, in some cases we do, but so we have a different point of view on all these numbers than the investor has, because both of us look through a different lens, right? The investor wants to make as much money, and hey, all the power to them. We are so happy if they can get this money, but we need to be realistic from our side to make sure that we can cover our butt, right?
Side, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And did you have any in the past some bad experience, some negative experience working with investors? And could you give please a couple examples? What are the main mistakes investors do to give such impression?
Yes, we have some. Actually, just recently, one of my partners has had a bad experience, which thankfully turned out bad in the end. However, one of the problems we see is not necessarily with the newbies. The problems we see is with the newbies that start getting, the taste of it, and they want to scale instead of learning to walk. First, they want to scale from one property to 10 property in parallel, right? For example, now their organization cannot support this. For example, because they did one fix and flip and now they do 10, how do they manage everything and so on? They have not organically grown to 10, right?
Yeah.
Now, in that case, we've seen that things happen like money gets misallocated. So they get money, and we do drafts, and we can talk about this later on too, but they get money, they get a draft for this property A, and they say, oh, well, property B now needs money, and they move it around to property B, and then stuff happens, right? And in the end, we had a property where we basically gave out about 60% of the budget, because we were working off of pictures, we were working off of videos, and so on. And only until later we found out that these videos and pictures were not from this property, they were from a different
Look
property.
again.
Look, now it goes off again. I'm sorry.
Oh, you see, I lost you again. I hear you, but I don't see you. But anyway, let's talk. Don't worry about it. It will come back.
Yeah. Sure. I don't know what the problem is.
I know what the problem is.
I guess guys. I guess it's connection. It's quality of connection, speed of internet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about the timeout of the camera. So I don't know. It's funny.
Maybe
We just had
Canada.
another meeting, an hour-long meeting before. It didn't happen, and now it happens. So, but with the people that are unhappy, like Dan said, where we have to just like tell them we can't do it, the deal, and we have unhappy. There are people getting really unhappy and sometimes angry, But I have to say, I mean, it's money involved, and we're the lenders, so we have to set some guidelines for them, and if they, I guess in the end they just ghost us, I mean, they're not coming back, and but it happens to all the lenders. I mean, we were talking to other lenders, and it just happens, And in the end, we just want to make sure that the deal, when we say it's a deal and this is the stuff for you to sign. In the end, all we want to do is a win-win situation. It's a win,
Right.
everybody wins, and then that's good. It's not coming back.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And coming back a little bit, a couple minutes ago, Dan just mentioned, so investors pretty often tend to give a little bit higher numbers of ARV. Some time ago, I spoke with another lenders, and this person is so humorous, and she said, I believe you guys investors all are very optimistic people. That is why you survive in this market. That is why your numbers are always too high. Not always, sometimes too high. I mean, ARV.
Yes.
It is a common problem. Cool. Awesome. What if let's say you send money to title company, and house was bought, but if borrower stopped communicating with you, if something really critically happened, what you do? How you fix this situation?
So that's before closing, you ask?
After closing.
After closing.
After closing,
Mm-hmm.
we try to work out any issues with the borrower. We would welcome if they come early on, right? If they feel that something goes awry, that they call us and let us help them. We have so many resources. If it is that they have issues with the contractors, that happens a lot, that they have issues with their contractors or subcontractors, that they do a bad job or they don't show up or whatnot. We actually have resources at our disposal from our organization which can help them. These are the same guys who, in case they would run off, which we hope they never do, but we have the resources which to finish the project, right? Because we need to finish the project. So now it is crucial that they contact us as soon as they see something go sideways, right? Because the earlier they know it and we know it, the better we can mitigate the issue.
Yeah, and it's important to know if they think that something goes wrong, or they have just this gut feeling, that they're not happy or something, that they contact us, because it's not just Dan and I or our partners. We have a whole company behind us. We have all our partners. We have from underwriters to closing companies to TCs. We have everything, and every person we have is just doing their stuff. It's not like Dan and I, we do everything, right? And so every person we have in our back office is specialized in something, and they're doing nothing day in, day out, only that. And they are amazing in that. So that's, then if we know what problem they have, the borrower, we can say, okay, I actually don't know the answer, but let me ask our people. And yes, and they're almost like 24/7. I mean, if they're always available.
Oh, so I suppose, excuse me, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I suppose it's not only you. I mean, in general, investors should realize lender is not enemy, right? Lender is business partner. And
absolutely,
something happens all the time in business. Business is risky stuff, right? And if something happened, investor doesn't have to hide. We have to just to come back to you as to lender to discuss situation. And as you give your own example, you guys even have sources to support and to help investors, right? To find right solution. It's very important, especially I believe for beginners who doesn't have experience, who get into trouble first time, and they believe, oh my gosh, what if they will send me to prison, these lenders, because they are very serious.
We don't want that. We really don't want that. And I said in the very beginning, our philosophy is a win-win situation because the investor success is our success, right? Now, what that means, just an example, you want to hear examples, I give you one. So let's say an investor has a project, we funded them, everything goes well and so on, but then they find out that they need permits and they cannot get the permits for whatever reason, right? Call us. We have guys which operate nationwide. Will help you get the permits you need so that you can basically continue your job in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, contact us whenever you have a problem. We will help you.
Awesome.
Because,
yeah, awesome. It's still everything about and around human relationship, right? How we treat each other, how we can serve each other, how we can understand each other's feelings. Because really, if you guys Swiss in your lenders, you did not get this money from the tree, right? You made this money somehow really hard during the years, and we respect it a lot.
Back there to that door is a printing machine.
It's a money printing machine.
Oh, I have so many great memories about Switzerland. One of the best and brightest my Christmas celebration was, I even don't know where, somewhere in mountains, in a very small town, maybe in a village, in small Swiss restaurant with a couple. There are musicians. She plays, he sings. And oh my gosh, this very specific Swiss song.
Yes.
I
the yodeling.
It was so cool, and we were dancing, and really, I never will forget it.
That's amazing. That's good memories to keep, right? That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
And another thing I remember about Switzerland, this is how stinky are your cheese stores. It should be like this because it's fermented product. It should be stinky, right?
Yeah, it should. But it's
secret. The stinkier, the better. No, really.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
It shows its quality. And I've had this smell in Switzerland. I had this smell in Norway, but I don't have this smell here in US, and I miss it because I miss for good cheese.
Yeah.
Good quality cheese.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It was so cool. In all information you just gave to people to make us understand your work a little bit deeper, to understand you are still humans. You're not from the Mars. We still communicate.
Right.
And what about actually, particularly you and your business? I know you know another lenders, you know how they work. So what are the advantages would you highlight about working with you for investors?
Okay, so first of all, we are really nice people to work with. Second of all, we really want to have a successful relationship, right? So we are out for long-term relationships, and we are also. I'm specifically working on what I call the Caldari deal team, right? It's basically a structure where we have a unicorn agent, we have our wholesaler, we have a fix and flipper, and we have a private money partner. We have us as the private money lender, right? So that we can basically cookie cutter deals, right? And this is what we are looking for. We want to connect with other PMPs. We want to connect with wholesalers. We want to connect with real estate agents, and basically built these teams all across the United States to basically get these neighborhoods renovated. There is a huge need to renovate the houses or rehab the houses in some of those neighborhoods, speak Ohio or whatever. And this is what we are basically after: relationships. And once we have relationships, we work together. I was just talking to a guy in San Antonio right before this meeting, and he said, "Oh man, yes, we will work together. We will do big things." And I have another friend in San Antonio, connect them together, and we work together now. That's super cool. And this is what we are looking for.
And connecting people, it's something I really like to do. Having realtors connecting with fix and flippers and wholesalers, and so so we can all work together, help each other out.
And it's not mutually exclusive. I really want people to understand that it is not because they work with us, they have to work with us now. No, if I find a relationship in my connection of friends and partners, which works better for them, I will not hesitate to basically connect them with them. It's as I said, it's not about the money per se. Yes, it is, but it is about the relationship. And if we cannot deliver the optimal result or fill the optimal need of this particular investor, we will still try to give him or guide him to other people which can. Right?
There is one thing I want to say about that. We also like to work together with other PMLs. Like we see on SUB 2, we see a lot of PMLs and then say, my money is locked in there. I run out of money. PMLs don't have to run out of money if they come to us. They can be PLMs, because we have all the partners. Our money doesn't run out. It doesn't run out. So that's where we also like to work together with other PMLs.
Right. That is a really good point you have right there. So imagine you're another PML. And a PML is just another real estate investor.
Right.
So let's say you're another PML, you have 200K, you want to invest. Now, you can take these 200K and you can invest it in one deal. And you can have your money locked up for 12 till 18 months, however long this project takes, right? That's one way to do it. Or you can take your 200K and you take 20K, you partner with an investor, with a fix and flipper, right? You say as a private money investor, you have now 20K locked up. You make a little bit more because an equity partner in this project, and you come to us and we fund the lion's share of the deal. You can do 10 deals as a PML and make much more on each deal than you would if you lock up your money for 12 to 18 months in a deal, right? So just to put some numbers into the game, right now we have about $600 million. I'm sorry, the thing went out. $600 million.
It's okay.
Florida alone, right? And this is just Florida. We do business all across the United States, with the exception of New York. Let me just get this. Yes.
Don't worry, please, guys. Don't worry.
This is something to think about too, as a private money lender. It's really a timeout. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. We are here for information mostly and to share energy. Picture is nothing. Don't worry.
So I find that PMLs should not live on an island and compete for deals. They should invest their money smart. And this is what I feel we're doing. Yeah. Right?
Very cool. Yeah. I had another conversation with a friend of mine. He is an investor, and actually yesterday had conversation about not only about how we communicate with lenders, but really we all have to enjoy this communication, this business, like you just mentioned. So we should click from all sides. We don't, us investors, we don't have to think you really guys somewhere from the Mars and you are not acceptable. You are rich people. We should chase you. It's actually bad position, because everyone should enjoy life, and life is too short.
Yeah, we should all enjoy life, and we are nobody without the borrowers. We have out the contractors. We are all together. We cannot lend anything to people without their help. So, we should all work together.
Yeah, and it's very, very smart. And
yes.
May I just throw in something?
Absolutely.
a nugget of current knowledge or value. So over the next few months, the Federal Reserves, will lower the interest rate. So now I know that many investors are kind of locked in deals which they fix and flip, right? And they're stuck with them because they cannot refinance them because the interest rates were just not supporting the property. But now we are also doing 30-year DSCR loans. So if you want to refinance a fixed at the end for the purpose of long-term rental or whatnot, yes, hit us up. We have you covered there too. It's not to sell loans, but just because the situation right now is very favorable, right, to refinance these deals. Yes, we are all out for it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for all the information. I really believe everyone should watch this podcast because information is valuable not only for newbies. Information is very valuable for any level, even advanced level investors, because it's very useful for us always to get fresh information. And Anita, I was really amazed when I remember I saw your first time, your post in Sub2 group, and it was so open. It was so sincere. So I'm PML. Reach out to me. I'm here to help. Usually PMLs, yeah, the guys hide. And I get, oh my gosh, this lady is open. I should reach out to her. And I'm happy because in the result, we have this wonderful podcast. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for having us, Elena. And keep in touch. So much. Yes.
Thank you so much. It was awesome. I wish you the wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much from all our audience for this information.
You. Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Bye, Elena.
Bye, Dan. Bye, Anita.